Hello, this is Dave Gimberline. This is February 12th, and this is the training at the University of Minnesota Karate Club. Today it is about 10 or 12 degrees below zero. We're going to hit 17 below shortly. So there's kind of a small turnout, but quality. So please train along. I welcome you all on Zoom and people who are watching to train later. Line up. Nah, as soon as you remember what's that, we'll work on it. First, you're going to say, I'm also. And you can spread around, but go where you are. Pick up one foot, go around it for ankle and toes, switch away. Other foot, other way. Feet together on the knees. Other way. Part, run your hips. Switch. Use your legs, pump your arms around. Switch. Cross. Twist. And stop. Pick up your heels. Put one leg in front. Swing your back leg up, hit your hand. 1, swing. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Your feet kick a little harder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Your feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Put your toes out, squat all the way down. Put your hands on the floor, straighten your legs. Squat, straighten, squat, straighten, squat, straighten, and squat. Put your feet out behind you. Arch. Push your back. Touch your chest to the floor. Forward again. Pull your feet in. Squatting. Part, keep it out. Stretching down. Forward. Back. Forward. Back. switch, side, switch, around with your torso, switch away, and stop. Turn facing this way, thrusting, switch away, switch, stretching deeper. Roll your foot, drop your hip, reach up, breathe deep. Open the arms, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Twist, look over your right shoulder. Touch your head to the floor by your front foot. And back up. Keep your left leg, your right leg in front. Take your right arm, reach out your foot as far as you can. And exhale. Reach. 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 And reach. Switch other hand. Reach. 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 And reach. Switch. Away, stretching deep. Roll your foot, drop your hip, reach up. Hold the arms, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Twist, look over your left shoulder. Touch your head to the floor by your front foot. Straight leg. Reach down with your left arm. Reach. Back. Reach and exhale. Back. Reach. Back. Reach. Back. And reach. Other hand. Reach. Back. Reach. Back. Reach. Back. Reach, back, and reach. Back to notch. Straighten one leg. Switch. 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 Switch and drop down. Switch. 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 Switch, and switch. Stay on this side. Rotate your hip all the way over. Stretch the outside of your thigh. Breathe deep. Back. Over. Back. Over. Back, over, and back. Switch over to the other side. Down with your hip. Switch. Squeeze one knee up into your chest. Pull your knee in tight. Switch. 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 And switch. Reach around behind, grab the ankle. Switch. Switch. And switch. Check more legs. Turn, switching arms. So I have some questions. You can answer now or tell me later. Like the stretching we do at the beginning of class, it's always been very important for me to do some stretching to warm up. There are some people who need no stretching, no warm up at all, they're ready to go. There are some people who need more. So I felt this pressure, because some people discarded, to go a little faster. So I realized that I go too quickly sometimes at the beginning and people can't keep up, even though it's fine for me. So I'm wondering at the beginning, do you think we need more stretching, less stretching? Care? Michael?
I personally need a little bit more.
Okay. What? It was good for you? Okay. The big mistake people make in stretching in general is that they don't differentiate between warm-up exercise and flexibility training, two different categories of movement. So I used to be a gymnastics coach many years ago in ancient times, and I studied the different ways to get flexibility stretching training. True flexibility work should only be done after the workout when you're fully warmed up and ready to go. So there are studies that show that static stretching, like sitting in the splits or putting one leg out and stretching and just holding it, can make you up to 17% weaker and can increase the chance of injury when you work out. If you do that same stretch at the end of class, that's fine. It can help release the fascia, it can help get you more flexible. So, in my day, we always did additional exercises at the end of class. Alternating leg raisers was a big one, push-ups, stuff like that. So, and I always need to add that in, but then I don't. So, if we get into a routine of doing more exercise at the end of class, it would be physical exercise and also some more stretching type of things. Does anybody happen to want that? Like some people love strengthening training. Some people hate it because they can't do a push-up and they don't want to be constantly reminded of that. So I try to find alternate exercises that kind of work both ways. Yeah. At the end, I'm thinking of adding more conditioning and stretching. Sometimes or all the time.
I'm okay with that.
Sit. Aha! Do you remember when we do with one leg in front and we do the whole body pushing up and down? Can you do that part? Do you like that as a push-up? There was a woman who was training a long time ago. She thought that was fantastic. She'd never been able to do a push-up in her entire life, and this was her lifting her whole body up and down. And I think it's a good builder. It's a good way. The problem is it's even that is fatiguing to some people, and then when they start punching, they're all or maybe a little tighter, muscle bound. So maybe more at the end or that kind of thing would be good. Are you going to stay for one class or two? And you.
I'll try.
And you. And you. And this is your first class in many months.
Yes.
Well, luckily I have a stick, so we're good. We're good to go. Feet together. Out. Feet forward. Left arm, left leg forward. Get it up. Hey! Counterpunch up. Use your feet. Rotate your hips. Jabbing head. One. Counterpunch, punching body. Two. One. 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 Two. Switch hands to his feet to the side. Nice, straight, tall posture. Use your hips. One. Jump with this. Two. One. 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 Two. Switch hands to his feet on the side. 2 punches, 1 count. I will count 10. You count 10. You count 10. You count 10. You count 10. Please count loudly so the people on the video can hear you. And count first, then move. No big hurry. Here we go. Other hand. 1, head, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nope. Let's go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Everybody key eye. Ready? Sink down into your stance, relax. Yep. Pick out your legs a little bit. So, I want to talk so that the people over there can hear me. You guys can look this way if you want for a second. When you count in class, sometimes you feel a lot of anxiety. I do. When people watch me, when people hear me, and I remember dreading when the numbers would come down the line and get to me. And then, 1, 2, 3, and the stress would, it was bad. So, one thing I learned is that you just have to do the best you can. If you screw up, if you miscount, if you count too fast, if you count out of sequence, then just do it better next time, or continue on and do it better. You don't die if you do it wrong. It's an awesome thing, and it's one of the karate skills that I think transfers over into life. Sometimes in life, we may go, oh, this is such a big deal, I have to do it just perfect, and sometimes you don't. Sometimes you can relax, do it conversationally, talk to people. approach a project like it's not the end of the world, even though it's important to you. You just have to do the best you can. And over time, that gives you some confidence. So there was a woman once who wrote in and said that they had to do kata in front of people, and she always forgot her kata. She practiced it, she practiced it, she practiced it, she knew it, and she'd have to do it in front of the group, and she'd get 3 moves in, and she's stuck. She can't do it. And what I encouraged her is, look, she was going to quit, right? In her head, she'd I can't do it, I'm terrible. No, you didn't do it, and you're fine. You're fine. Do it again next time. Just, continue to be, karate should be about succeeding and yet challenging in some way. Harder without partners, but still, just being the center of attention when you don't like it, that's hard. And I'm telling you, I still don't like it, and it took me many, many years to feel a little more natural at it. And I'm very hesitant, I was, until a few years ago, to demonstrate techniques or kata or anything. And then I realized these people I'm teaching don't have anybody else to watch. There is, I'm not at the bottom of the thing anymore. So now I do it, and the best I do is the best I do. I know in my videos, sometimes I demonstrate something, I lose my balance. People write in, oh look, you can't do it, he's terrible. Because the internet, very brave people. But I don't edit them. Life is not perfect. It's what you do is what you do. So I choose to look at it as a time to grow and try harder. And there's definitely times when you don't do the best that you wish you had, but then you try again next time. So that was my talk. I hope it was intelligible to those people. Let's do some more punching. Right leg forward, counterpunch up. I will count 10, you count 10, you count 10, you count 10, you count 10. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 8, 9, 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Ready? Everybody key eye. And straight ahead. And rest. And catch your breath. So since you have to leave first, do you want to do some kata first? And which kata would you like to do? Not just one, you could say 3 or 4. All good choices. Kanku. That's what you said, right?
Yes.
Kanku you might not have done before, you don't see it very often, especially at the lower ranks, but it is a way fun kata. So here we go, follow along the best you can. Let's let's trade. Let's. Now we're Kanku shell. Out. With that, boy, you're gonna shift to the back stance this way. 1, 2, 3. And you're gonna step forward. And do this and then this. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1. 1. This way, I believe. Kick and pull. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1. That one's a little bit. There you go. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Empty jump. 3. Side snap elbow. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1. Face this way, look that way. You're going to keep your hand and land on your right foot. 2. Then switch your feet. 3. 1. Inside block, step and punch. 1, 2. 1. Eagle. There. Not bad. This hand covers, this hand reaches. Like you blocked it, and then you're going to reach around and grab it. And in Bassai Dai, they're really big on this. And Bassai Show, or sorry, in Kanku Show, they want you to grab like that. I don't know why, I doubt they know why. And then you pull to your own center, in the middle of you, when you're kicking. And because of that, some people say, in other kata, this is a big wind up and down. And in this kata, the guy's face is right there, and it just goes out to hit him. It's not a bad idea. It's okay. I don't have a problem, though, if you do a bigger wind up either. 1, 2, 3. So I'd be hitting the side of the neck. But their face is right there, so there's nothing wrong with punching straight out at it. Try just that part a few times, please. Go like this. 1. Kick and pull. 2, 3. Step back. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is like this. Facing that way. Sorry I messed up my lungs on this. So we're just going to do that a few times. 1. Oh, did I screw that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Bad count. 1, 2. Here we go. This will be better. So this is a J stand sometimes. Just put it forward. So here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 7. Hi up. Hi, rest. Questions on that part? So, what do you want to do with your hands here? Want to do that? Or want to do something different? I was watching you, and they were not precise. So I just wondered what you needed. Okay. They were close to that, right? Try to make sure whatever you do, your body does the kick. Your body hits. Your body hits. Hit. Ha, ha, hit, ha. So even if this is pretty good, I feel like this is just you turning around with your arm. And it's kind of a cool feeling. It's like this, only it makes so much more sense. Just to cover, hit, grab and pull, whatever you think you're doing there. They can be many different things. But, the outside of your arms and your legs match. Any questions? Great. Out. Step. Away. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1. 1, 2. Side tempo. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1. Eagle. 3, 4. 1, 2. 1, 2. Hey. Hey. So, there are like 3 theories when we have a show on a die. Generally speaking, show means minor, smaller, secondary. Die means first, bigger, more important. So, in some cases, they argue that the size of the stance should decide show or die. It's a good argument. In some cases, it's whichever one came first should be die. In some cases, they say it's like part 1 and part 2. And in this particular instance, I like that because you would do Kanku die, one of the longest katas we have. Get all the way to the end, stand up, and go 1, 2, 3, and do the second half, which is a long, long kata. In our system, our katas have been changed a lot. So if you look around, they're not the same as other systems that have a Bassai show, for instance, or even a Sochin. We have a Sochin, which is nothing like the Okinawan Sochins. So sometimes the name stayed and the kata changed. Sometimes the kata stayed the same and the name changed. What was our next kata? Gojushiho die. This one?
Yes.
Right. Let's practice that part a little bit. So you're in a cat stance a lot here, which they say is 90-10. Your heel belongs about where your big toe is, sometimes slightly in and sometimes slightly out, depending on who's doing it, what they're teaching and what it's for. In the smaller versions of this stance, your knee is in, and it's generally a feeling of inward pressure from both legs. There are versions where they're out, which in our instance often became a back stance. But one's not right, one's not wrong. I'm just saying there's different ones in different places. So the hard part in ours is in this example, you're doing an inside sweep with your heel pulling somebody in. So if I was messing with Mike here, stand here, Mike, okay? Put your left foot in front just a little bit, there you go. So we're not going to get too close to you, I'm this close. But I come around here while I'm guarding with my hands, pull his foot out from under him and knock him down, or hit him, whatever the next thing is. And some people say, oh, that would never work. Well, not against a trained person. But most people, you touch their foot and they fall over. There's not a lot of stability to them. So in our kumite, this sweep has become the dominant sweep, the outer sweep. And in kata, this inward hook is the dominant one. It's in there all the time. Now, what I do have to say, Shotokan has a problem where if something is like in this case, then they must all be like that. And that's not the way it works. The different kata were different. So people insist on doing this all the time, even if it doesn't fit. And people who studied, for instance, Unsu years ago, they just take a step. And then they take a step. There's no big sweep. But most people do the sweep because it's somewhere else. It's in Bassai Show. It's in the other places. And it feels kind of cool. It gives you something to do while people are judging you. Here we go. We'll try this. So you're standing here in your cat stance. Let's think about this for a moment. Sorry. Try that. You're making, they always say like a question mark. Your toes over there, your heels over there. Your heel comes out, then it pulls into the middle. Draw a question mark like in on the floor on the sand. Give that a try, please. You're going to face this way eventually. I'm standing sideways so you can see. So the other tricky part, so everybody just did that. Awesome. The tricky part is doing it with your foot is nothing. You have to do it with your hip and center. Reach, pull, squeeze, pull. Otherwise it has no power. It'll literally be just you going like this, trying to choke somebody and you will not work. I would say the same thing about these outside sweeps. It's not just your foot. It's your center and your hip. Swinging it that makes it work. Even if it's not big, even if it's just little. Oh, let's see. Well, I said we should try that. Alright, so let's start here. You're like this. This is a finger strike. Ippon Ken? No, I don't know what it is. It's like this. Most people, if they do this with his hand, they do this with his hand too. Because it's just easier to remember stuff. Then you're going to twist your hip back and reach out with his hand. And then you're going to shift forward and strike 1, and then 2 more, 2, 3. Then turn. 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stand up for a second. Is anybody's left leg tired? Well, it should be. All of our other kata use your right leg as your dominant leg. This one uses the left one all the way through. So people stand up and they go, oh, my leg. Because they don't realize this one's much more developed. There is an issue that I don't particularly care about, and that is because your hip and foot do a circle, most people do a circle with their hands, way over, way up. Nishiyama hated that. hated it, hated it. He said your hand should only come up enough to block your face. So, his point that I do not agree with, can you just hang on to that? Pointed at my face. Is if this is coming at my face, this thing over here is a waste of your time, you'll get hit first. So he said, as soon as you know that's there, your hand has just got to clear it, not do the circle thing. And he has a point, that this is, you're matching your hip and foot for no reason. Unless you have a good reason for pulling your hand over there and pulling it back. Which there are, grappling ones usually. So this kind of has a lot of cool stuff in it, and we should start on it, or we're not going to do it. Out. Gojushiho down. Wait. You're going to do this first. One. Then you're going to step off 45 degrees and double punch. Two. That both ends. 3. 1. This is the fun part. Punch, punch, kick, punch, but don't step forward. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you step forward in line, do a rising elbow strike. 1. Grab here, straight there. 2. Then you stand up like this. 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to do this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. Nope.
Both messed that up.
Nope, I think you go 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
1, 1, 2. 1, 1, 2, 3. 7, 1. Over the top. 2. 1, 2. Over the top of this one. 1, 2. Kick and punch. 3, 4. 1. 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 4. Back of it in. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Land and cat stance and double strike. 3, 4. Anyway, Paris. Okay, now you got it, right? It's like one of the longest kata ever. And there's good news and bad news. Since you don't know Gojushiho Sho, you don't get them confused. But when you do, it's the same pattern with just a little bit different techniques. And in this particular case, remember before I talked about a Shodan and Nidan? We know that in Okinawa there's basically one Gojushiho. And it has all of the moves from Gojushiho, Shodan and Nidan, but not repeated as many times. And it's got extra stuff in it that we don't have. So, Sensei Furukoshi sent Sensei Nakayama to go study with Itosu and learn Gojushiho, his updated version. So he came back with Gojushiho, and he said when Koshi and I set about making it more Shotokan-like. So this used to be in there, and this used to be in there, and it became this in one kata, and this in the other kata, and they started to be so different, he said, well, let's make two. Gojushiho Sho and Gojushiho Dai. So I think that's cool, and I like both. And any questions? It is hard to follow. It's such a long, long kata, but there are lots of cool moves that we don't do in any of the other katas. So this is like this, and then it's like this. Excellent question. It involves me touching you. All right, I need this hand. So I make a fist if you want. So what Nishiyama said was somebody's punching and you're stopping in that way. And I'm like, I thought that was stupid when he said it. Can you do a 7 punch on this side? But if I get a hold of this hand, and I'm coming over and touching here, doing that. Fuck! So, you can touch yourself there. Here's your collarbone. Halfway between here and here, and slightly to the outside. Take 2 fingers, stick them down towards your own heart. You'll find the edge of your brachial plexus. It makes a little twist there. 90%, 95% of the people have that there. There's a few people in it. And it does work better in this place as a push point. But if you start to hit it, it will also work. So, the 2 theories are either I go 1, 2, and straight up under here, or it's a choice. I either go like this, whoa, or he's already bent forward, and I'm going to step in his whoa and jam him up the same way. And I believe, this is a weird thing. In the katas where you do flowering things with your hands, Nishiyama said, no, don't do this. Even though everybody does this, the Chinese, the Okinawans, the Japanese, he said the only thing that's important is for this finger and this thumb to be together. So his became very different, and yet there's something about it that I like if I'm using it to hit with. But this is not this, it's a different thing. And I think this just represents a technique. If I actually use it on him just now, I took these 2 fingers, I think. Yep. I took these 2 fingers and I braced them with my thumb and I pushed down because I need some penetration. So this wouldn't go far enough. It would go sideways, it goes right here. Wow, that's a great target. But this is tough to get at. Your muscle and bone protected. 2 fingers though, you can brace all you want, it's in there. Oh! So, you can, if you're worried about contact, well, there's lots of other cool techniques. I gotta say, I do demonstrate this quite often. Who wants to hold this back? Anybody? All right, just stand there. Strong tummy. If I, just stand up, I want to be a little bit. If I punch this, I can hit it pretty solidly. You can feel it coming through, right? And yet, if I do this, it's more. It just is, it's more. This is one of the oldest recorded techniques in all of karate. It's in the Bubishi, a handwritten document from Okinawa. It's in China, and it is on a wall in India. So it's not necessarily one to the other, but it's an effective thing to do. Bang! Very strong. There's specific targets it would hit that make it stronger. from a self-defense standpoint, one thing, can you stand up for a second? If I hit him straight on, it's not that effective. Guys are not vulnerable in their chest from the front. But if he's leaning forward, like to grab me, as he comes forward, that's a heck of a target. You feel that? Oh! And he's very tough, I'm telling you. So, okay. So, it's a great technique for that. Somebody say, what do you do against somebody that tackles you? Bam! And if you can't reach that because they're too close, you use your forearm. Bam! Into either here or here. But it's the same basic idea. Step when you go. There are grapples, there's a block and a strike, there's lots of stuff. But I just remember doing it thinking, because they teach you, I don't know, you're coiling over here and you're lifting your hands up, you're coiling over here, and you're like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. And people will say, well, it's because you used to have weapons. And you would draw the weapons, and then what? Show them to the guy? What would I do? Look what I do. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. So when I learned that, it's just super effective. You can teach it to lots of people in a day, in 10 minutes. So on a better day, when there wasn't a pandemic, we would all hit each other and it would be great fun. Okay, man?
Little bit, right-handed.
Sure. Pressure point here, by the way. That's good.
Yes, I've been training a long time.
Terrific. Doing great. Better?
Yeah.
It makes a difference. So, if they teach you pressure points, they should also teach you the reviving points. And some people say, oh, so much crap, it doesn't matter. But I'm telling you, it matters. You feel better if somebody works at your rate work. You make it? You can sit if you need to. Okay. What's your next time? Where do you have to go now?
I can go now. We can take a 5-minute break.
All right. 5-minute break, everybody. Let's get some water. Michael? Yeah. 5-minute break, people. I was in a class once when the instructor was teaching and he demonstrated the kick and his knee went snap and he fell to the ground in a pile. And he knew what was wrong and he was upset because it was his good knee. He had bad knees. So he said, okay, you take over. And it was so weird because I'm like, well, wait, what do we do? I mean, the best I could do at the time is to do something completely different instead of continuing what he was working on. So I think if we do some basic kata, it will get us all back into kind of a good mindset. And Shodan. That. Wait. Let's go. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2. Hey, there's. I feel like I'm not going up at all anymore. Heian, Nidan. Out. Good. Yep. Wait. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Okay. There. And Sandan again. You need 2 trade places. And come up with stuff. Out. And Sandan. Away. One. Up. Hey, start again. Yep. Push this forward. One. More. Head up straight. 2, 3. A little bigger. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. 1. Nice. 2, 3, 4. Shoulders down. 1. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 2. There you go. Sorry, bad count on my part. Yep. Fires. So all the moves are good. You just have to do it until you don't forget it. You know, remember which one is which. And out. Up. Yondan. Wait. 1. Eagle. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 3, 4. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? And Yondan again. Wait. Kata. Wait. On. Eagle. 1. Go for the word. Ew. Drop the front hip a little bit. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 3, 4. 1, 2. Push out against your legs. 1, 2, 3. Straighter. 1, 2. Push out against your legs. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Shoulders down. 5, 6. Everybody rotate to your right, and you come it under. And you're done. Up. One. Ew. What? Ew. Sink into your leg, back leg is there. 1, 2. Down, down, down. 1, 2. 1, 2. 3, 4. 1, 2. Elbows out or in a little bit, and your hands out a little bit. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Good job. Rotate. Up. And up. One. One. It's going to be a little higher. Not your shoulders, just your hand. Ew. This is going to be higher. One. What should do like Indonesian stance? Ew. 1, 2. Sink. 1, 2. Nice. 1, 2. 3, 4. Down your legs, down, 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 down. Strong arm in. Grab toward your spine. 1. 2. Elbows in, hands out a little bit. 1, 2, 3. Push. 1. 1, 2, 3. 1. Knees up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1. Don't get down. So that stepping forward part, that's always a problem. Yep. You made many good changes in your kata since the last time we worked on it. So good job on you. It's a nice kata. So the issue with testing and everything is, it's been so long, and yet some people haven't trained consistently. So what I'd like to do is keep working with people to try to figure out a level and have them test for what I think. And if everybody else doesn't agree with me, you'd end up a step lower or a step higher. What do I know? Could be. So you need to keep working on your first 4 kata, but we'll also start working on Heian Godan. Because your Heian Yondan is just getting much better. Shodan, Nidan, Sandan, sometimes you just forget what comes, but you don't do badly. You just have to do it enough to where it's a pattern. Then you two should both work on, assuming you're going to test for Shodan. And if you're not, then you'll test for first key or something. But you've been training the whole time. Your kata is improving, you're coming along. We don't have enough basics. We don't have enough repetition of just over and over again. And we haven't done any partner work. So that's harder because your test is kumite, free sparring and one aggressor and then the other aggressor. And you probably don't even know about that. So I will do my best to work you through parts of that so when the test comes, we're more ready for it. You do really, really well, always have with form. It's just been a long time since you trained enough. But you fix stuff just like that. So I have high hopes for you for testing for Shodan. And sometime relatively soon, spring. So, you know, it's whenever I can convince people to come here and give a test in person, or we'll do it online and people can watch a video and see what they think. It is hard. You get different feedback in person when you watch somebody than you do on video. And it is, you can see all kinds of technical stuff on video, but you sometimes can't get the feeling from it. You can't see like, what are they doing, good or bad. A thing I noticed for all of you that is partially my fault is for instance, when you're doing the jab counter punches, and I keep telling you to be relaxed and subtle, you're doing a great job at that. But sometimes, when you get to the end, you quit. So, you go jab, counter, you're just done. Jab, counter, I'm just done. And what you need is this little bit of, like I just hit the target, that little bit of extra continuation. Jab, counter. Jab, counter. Make sure you're, in your mind, in your body, finishing through the technique. Not unique to you guys, it's a big problem. Nishiyama stopped whole seminars and told people, blah, 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 blah. Because it's too easy to start thinking that you do the position, and then you're done. Nope. You're not done. You have to finish. So, one more time, Heian Yondan. To the count. Out. Kata. Oi. 1, 2, 1. Turn your hip, John Noel. 2. Make sure you have a good back stance, Rachel. 1, 2. Turn your hip, John Noel. Finish with your hip. Push it in. 1, 2. Shoulders down, Rachel. 1, 2. 3, 4. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn your hip, John Noel. More, more, more. 5, 6, 7. I am 8. High up. Good job. Middle person takes a giant step forward. Little, there you go. Everybody do your own kata. No count. Half speed is fine. Out. Kata. Oi. Ian. When you're done with this little part, you can always stand up for right now. Not always, but today. So start here. Go 1, 2, 3. Finish your leg, come here, more. There you go. 1. This one's always a little short. Your shoulders, there you go. They got a lot left in there. 2. 1, 2. That one was good. 3. That one was good. Before. 4. Straight and tall. All the time. So little things like that. Make sure you finish your hip. But a lot of you wobble. So you could practice 2 things that would help besides finishing your hips. You can practice just this end move where you go 1, 2, and make sure you're 1, 2, because so you got to stay stable there. And then any of the knife hand blocks, so that whole sequence. So stay straighter here. 1, 2, 1, 2. But this whole sequence, pressure, 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 because I don't feel it through your legs like it could be. So you can just do those little parts over and over again. Rotate. And Yondan. Everybody your own kata. Out. And out. Boy. Heian. So I think you do a little better when I count and a little nervous when I don't, but that's normal. It might help to pretend somebody's counting. 1, 1, 2, whatever it is. So you get a rhythm. It is good to move quickly, but you have to still finish your position. So I guess what I noticed it was, that's okay, and then it wasn't quite done. So I'm not telling you to go slower, I'm telling you to get there and then do the next one. In your legs and your body. Lots of stuff you did really good. This whole sequence, 1, 2, you did that. And then 1, 2, that was awesome. And your knee strike is really coming. So all good things. Over time, you need to make more pressure in your legs. They're a little tight. Sometimes more than others, but it is a thing you can do to improve. So like if you do left leg forward down block, if you do a step and punch, your legs are not set to hold you yet. Up, there you go. They're getting there. But they weren't there. So it's not a structure thing as much as a muscle thing, using the right muscles. So if you try a counterpunch, anyone? So jab, 1, 2. Up. There you go. So figure out how to do that all the time. That's the little bit of sinking, that little bit of pulling together, and still you driving. You can't give up one to the other. So you were here good, and I touched you, and you started, no, that doesn't count. You have to increase this pressure to get the pressure to go. And I just touched your hand if you want to grab a towel. Rotate. isn't, you know, not the end of the world. Your biggest thing is kind of finishing your technique in a way that gives it direction and body mass. So if you start here, you go one. This is your arm. There's no, how is that arm? Use your head up. Bend this elbow slightly. Use your legs. That is fantastic. That's how we did it. 2, 3, 4. Elbow slightly away. Shoulder out. Put it up. Yep. And be strong in your legs down. Pull your arm down. So here's the weird thing. Your shoulder belongs back if you're punching this way. Make a fist again. Strong. Down. If I put pressure on you here, it binds here. So if you extend this out, it's stronger here going sideways. Yeah. So make a big circle out your arm. It's an hand motor too. And technique. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's a problem. Hips. Yeah. See, don't wait on me. Yeah. You have to hit that every time. Okay, so the rest is fine. I mean, you know, it's the same kind of thing. You got to make sure your body's active. Good though. Your own kata one more time. Then we go home. Out. Kata. Boy. In. Anyway, so Jean-Noel, your biggest thing is maybe consistency. You do some stuff really good, and then the next time it's not as good. You tend to have your butt out to the side when you do these instead of being straight. And then sometimes you forget to do your arm. Other hand. Oh, sorry. So it's the other way though. So here, I'll be a mirror. You're this way? Yep. On your right hip? Yep. 1. Yep. 2. Shoulders down. Now the other side. 1, 2. Shoulders down. Yep. So that's better. But there's lots of maybe little things like that where you just got to make sure you're straight. Rachel, when you do this Yamazuki, you're leaning forward too much. It's not quite straight. It's just a little bit forward, just a little bit, and sideways, pretty sideways. So they say it's like you're blocking your head and punching the guy at the same time. Yep, that was fine. Do the other side. That's better. And then it maybe looks like you forget which moves come next sometimes. So just more practice till it gets smoother. Okay, well thanks everybody. You can follow these nice people here on the internet too. Thank you all for training. Class dismissed. Thank you for training. Class dismissed.
today?
They want us out by, quarter after, so. Let's hold.